Cruise and Travel News Update for December 10th, 2020, brought to you by the Snoot Factory. For all the latest in pooch fashions, here is today's top story. Travel Weekly reports Norwegian could be sailing in Europe before the United States. Norwegian Cruise Line is considering the possibility that it may end up resuming its cruise operations in Europe prior to launching from any U.S. ports, according to Cruise Center, which cites a letter from the company sent to the line's senior officers. According to the site, the letter says, as we approach the end of the first quarter in 2021, we will also start to evaluate the conditions in Europe for the normal seasonal repositioning of vessels and could possibly launch ships in Europe before sailing again in the United States. When asked about the validity of the letter, parent company Norwegian Cruise Line Holdings said, "We are working through a variety of possibilities related to the restart of cruising and will share further information as it becomes available." The letter also says that Norwegian has started reassembling its crews and that the Norwegian Escape and Norwegian Joy are being used as transport ships and will be deployed once we are certain of the ships that will re-enter service first. The Norwegian Dawn and Spirit have been repositioned to Bar City in Montenegro, where both ships sit, waiting further instructions. Several cruise lines in Europe launched operations this summer, including large ship lines MSC Cruises, Costa Cruises, AIDA, and TUI, under conditions that industry stakeholders in the U.S. have been arguing since September could be replicated in the United States. Other stories making the news: Travel Pulse reports U.S. airports offering COVID-19 testing ahead of the holidays. Cruise executives discuss future sailings, current state of the industry, and the importance of how travel companies sanitize. The links to these stories and more are available on our website, www.bestatsea.radio.com. And that's the Cruise and Travel News Update for today, brought to you by the Snoot Factory. www.thesnootfactory.com for all the latest in pooch fashions. Stay safe, everyone.
You're listening to Best at Sea Radio.
Yo, what's poppin'? This is Shaq Diesel. You're listening to the really big broadcast.
Almost as big as me.
With my main man, BJ the DJ.
Coming to you live from the Best at Sea Entertainment Studios in sometime sunny Central Florida, this is the really big broadcast with Tom Drake, legendary comedy magician John Ferrantino, the producer, Donnie Colassa. I'm BJ Odom, the voice of Best at Sea Radio. And joining us today on Ladies' Day at the big broadcast will be Oceania Cruise Line, Oceania Club Ambassador, Jennifer Faust, and a great friend of the big broadcast, here once again to test our knowledge. Oh yeah, lecturer Sandy Cares. Plus, it's your birthday. Who got born? Who did what? And what in the world? And now, here's the guy that you can't get rid of, even if you try with Goo Gone. Tom Drake.
Yeah, I can't even get this thing to shut off so I can be on the air. How are you, everybody? Goo Gone this. Uh-oh, where's the producer?
Uh-oh.
The producer's Mel. We've had a rough morning. Hi, everybody. Good to see you.
Good morning.
How are you? Do I sound too loud on anybody? Is it loud?
No.
All right.
Nope.
I had to switch microphones, switch cameras, switch lights. I was ready to switch houses. I was just going to go live at Shaw's house and the hell with it. And Dottie's got lighting problems. Spent an hour and 20 minutes on lights on Dottie's screen this morning. It's been a beautiful day. Happy Thursday, everybody. It is Ladies' Day. Is that sexist? Should I have said that?
I don't know, but I put cologne and everything on this morning thinking, hey, today's Ladies' Day.
And you took the headphones off. Let me get.
No, look, I got earbuds.
Yeah, but I mean, you took the big aircraft landing ones off.
Yeah, well, those little ones that I had, I couldn't hardly hear you. Now these earbuds, man, they boom.
Now, who makes those?
The ones I got was from Fisher.
Fisher earbuds, huh? Yeah.
Believe it or not. They're wireless. They sound great, and I paid $8.99 for them at Winn-Dixie.
You are a
Really?
bastard. I swear to God. I don't even buy soda for $8.99 at Winn-Dixie. How do you do that? So I'm looking at this thing. This is Throwback Thursday. when I did sound check was a mess, lighting was a mess, and when I put this shirt on before we went on social media, I did not digitize. And do I look like some kind of a test you take to see if you're crazy?
Yeah, a little bit, but not, only if you're big.
Oh, see when I move. Oh, this is so ugly. I wanted to throw the whatever, but good to see everybody. I just wanted to rant and vent and rant, and I'm over with. So BJ has earbuds. I'm very jealous for $8.99 at Winn-Dixie. Our Winn-Dixie went out of business around here. The only requirement to be a cashier at the Winn-Dixie was you had to have some kind of marital problem. One cashier was talking to the other one. My Bubba got drunk again. I'm going to leave him. Like, babe, I think my cottage cheese just expired while I was standing here. Thank you. Try to feel. I'm working on my act because we are going to have the really big broadcast New Year's celebration on New Year's Eve, and it will feature out of retirement, just like who just came out of retirement, Mike Tyson, right?
Yeah.
Out of retirement, one of Southwest Florida's most popular morning personalities, BJ Odom, will come to us from Fort Myers. I weaseled that deal. You'll see the legendary comedy magician live from Merritt Island, Florida. You'll see the host of the show live from Central Florida will be Dottie, and live from this location will be me and also our good friend Paul Edison. If you like the sounds of Sinatra, Tony Bennett, Neil Diamond, Tom Jones, he's a really special guy. I was gonna lie to people and tell them he was in Liverpool. I was, but I said I can't do that. Just not me. Anyway, that will be on New Year's Eve at 8:00. It's a 2-hour, it might even be 2.5. Prepare you. We don't have anything. This is a network television. But instead of watching that crap on Fox and ABC and CNN, music from kids you don't know, and hip hop and rap and the kind of stuff that our friend Shaq Diesel plays. This is for the old people. And BJ is programming music that will not injure you. We're going to take that into consideration. It'll be stuff that you can dance to, but not hip hop, just stuff that's easy on the hip. And it's going to be a lot of fun. It's not free, you cheap. It'll be $30 a house. That's nothing. Just $30. Think of what are you going to do on New Year's anyway? You can't go anywhere. I mean, you could go out to dinner maybe early, but if you live in certain places in the country, you're not going for outside dining.
Not going anywhere.
There's no dining in California. So have people over that you can cough on. And at 8:00, we'll kick it off with a dance party. And then Dottie will take over and introduce each act. In between, we'll have a small dance party so you can hit the head. So as we say in Jersey, because we understand, what it's like as you get older. You got, even with Flomax, you got to go.
New Year's with your pod.
There you go. So I'm actually excited about it. I hope it goes a lot easier than the last 2 hours this morning. But we'll have more information on that next week on how you can purchase tickets or whatever you want to call those. You'll get a link where I will teach you if you're not familiar with how to get onto a Zoom. We'll have a class. So people will be ready for New Year's Eve. So you're not screaming. The wife is going, "Yep, stupid idiot." I should have Ron McComb.
Alan Garber called me yesterday and told me that he got a call to do a virtual party for this 80-year-old woman. It was a surprise party.
Yeah.
And he said, look, he goes, I'm Jewish. He goes, and I just have to tell you, he goes, it was probably 10 Jewish women and men in their 80s. He said it was supposed to start at 3:00. I get a link from the woman with the passcode. Passcode doesn't work. She goes, so then after I tried 12 times, it was all in capitals. He goes, let me try it in lowercase. And then it worked. He said he got on and this was it. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. I can't hear. What's going on? I can't hear. And then all of a sudden, this other guy comes in and he goes, let me straighten it. Who's this guy, Alan? We don't know him. Get him off. He should be in our meeting. He said it went on. He said it was a skit from Saturday Night Live. Then the woman goes, this is ridiculous. You can't start. I'm going to Sylvia's house. Give me a mask. Right. So he goes, everyone hold on. And then also she comes out with the other one. The other one's going, don't sit close or close to me. right? He said it was so much funnier than the show. And he said, and then he goes, in every 3 minutes, the guy kept going, "Who's Alan? We don't know an Alan. Get him off. He crashed our thing." And then then this lady came on who was her birthday, who had no idea she was going to be seen. She was in a bathrobe and her hair looked like it was comb with a firecracker. And she's going, "People can see me. This is embarrassing." It was the funniest. He said, he goes, "I knew my show wouldn't be as funny as this."
Well,
Too bad he didn't record that. He could
I
sell
know.
that.
He said, because he wasn't his meeting, he kept trying to record it. But he said, "Oh my God." He called me up. He was crying when he was telling me the story.
we are going to follow the Sonia Selby routine, which is everyone will be muted by the technical director. There'll be, although that's hilarious to hear people going, "Who's Alan?
Who's Alan? We don't know no Alan." He goes, "I'm the entertainer. I'm the entertainer." "What do you entertain? We don't even know who you are. What, did you just come in to entertain?" The woman's going, "I hired him." "What did you pay to hire this guy?"
I wish I had it queued up where Ian Finkel's being interviewed at our showcase, and the guy goes, "I'm Ian Finkel. You don't know me? You don't know who I am? You know that same thing. You don't know who I am? I'll tell you who I am. You really don't know who I am? No, I don't know who you are."
And it got to the point where the guy who kept saying, "Who are you?" He said, "I was laughing so hard that I couldn't even answer him."
I mean, someone should write. Listen, you got to call Lindsay. You got to. I mean, that's in some play, a scene where, because of today, virtual. They're doing something virtual, and they don't understand virtual, and they're yelling, "I don't. Who? What? What?"
He goes, and the only woman whose screen worked perfectly, and he could hear her, she kept going, "What is this Zoom? I don't understand. What is this Zoom? I see nobody."
See, I could hear the voices. I could see the people. Just funny. As a side note to my whining when we opened, a couple of things happened. And as a boy, I was this way, and as a man, I'm worse. Which is, I put something somewhere and I can't find it. And my dad, when I growing up, I would say, "Dad, have you seen my car keys?" And he would say, "I'll clean it up." He would say, "If you're up your butt, you know it." And that was his answer to everything. But he would say, "I know it." He said, "It would say it was up your ass, you know it." I go, "Thanks, Dad. I appreciate that." So yesterday, I took the lav mic off, walking out of the room. I took it off and I put it somewhere. And now I'm Regis. I can't find it anywhere. So we can't find the lav. All right. So we're going to use the big $400 Shure. What a piece of crap microphone that everybody has in the studio everywhere. And now it's doubling up. You hear me twice. It doesn't work. Right. So great. So now I have to I have two Audio Technica mics like Dottie uses, but it's in a shelving unit that's in front of my new desk here, and there's a table in front of it, and the monitor's on top of the table. So I have to take the monitor off the table, move the table, find it in the drawer, and put it in at exactly 3 minutes to 10 o'clock. And at 3 minutes to 10, I said, "Dottie, you heard me twice?" She goes, "No, thank God. Once is more than enough."
John, you need to make sure that Lindsay puts this in the next play.
Hey, and it harkened back. Remember those? You ever use those words in a sentence? It harkened back to the days of yore, back in June and May, when I was screaming profanities just before we were supposed to go on the air. And it was worth it, because, John, that story is just who's Alan?
You need to say a prayer to St. Jude.
Yeah.
Finds everything, right, Danny?
You know what? What did I? Oh, the key fob on our keychain fell apart when I was at BJ's one day.
Right.
And when I got in the car, I heard something click, and I looked, and the fob had opened, and I thought, okay, the little things down alongside of I was getting ready to come home, so I didn't bother. I got to the grocery store and I looked, and I couldn't find the little code, the little card that goes in there. The battery I found, but not the
actual
card.
Electronics.
Right.
Yeah, the electronic card. So I'm thinking, okay, I had a fallout when I was at BJ's when I was packing the car, because it fell apart right as I got into the car when I brought the keys up to the ignition. So I said the prayer.
Yeah.
I told Tom, I said, "I have time. If I'm late, just cover for me. I'll be 5 minutes late at the most." I ran back to BJ's while I was driving, did the prayer. I retraced my steps, found it on the ground.
Yeah.
And by the way, that's my
When I
fault
was
too,
back in
because
time for the
our
show.
Cadillac has 2 key fobs, and yeah, as you know,
One's
everybody,
missing.
there's a key that will only open the car door. It won't open the glove box. So if you give it to a parking place, you can lock the glove
You
box.
have your gun in there.
Yeah. So guess what we can't find? First of all, I can't find the other set of keys. And in this set of keys, the key that opens the door is missing. So when I was in Publix in the parking lot and the sun wouldn't open, I couldn't use the key because it was the wrong key. So I had to sit there, and AAA came. This is a while back. AAA came and jimmied it. So I'm now going to order 2 key fobs, 17 sets of keys, 13 lavalier microphones. I'm ordering okay, it doesn't matter. 15 minutes after the hour. Now, the funny thing is, not funny. That Shure mic was over $400, right? This mic is $79. This mic gives me no problems at all. Do I sound all right with this mic, BJ?
Sound perfect.
Never had a problem.
Yeah,
These are $8.99 and you sound great, baby.
cheap bastard. And they're wireless?
Yeah.
All right, you have to tell me, because I have.
Are they connected to each other or are they separate?
Well, no, they're connected to the computer, wireless. They're like
No, but I'm saying sometimes, like I have wireless headsets, but they connect to each other.
no, they're
Wire
both.
beyond.
It looks like I
Separate,
have earrings on. Basically, it looks like a
Nice.
little black earrings.
Huh? It's good to see you back in men's clothes.
I can't do that because of the board. I can't. My microphone is in the board, not in the computer. So I can't. I don't think I have wireless buds, but I don't think I can use them because you're directly into a single computer. I am sitting in front of a broadcast studio. That's just.
Did you get the text from Bob Rio? Sure, the show's going to. Sure, the show's going to 2 weeks.
About
What
all
am I
these
doing with all these monitors?
Oh, I didn't.
At first, he had asked if we were selling any of the equipment.
It's going to 2 really tight, well-produced shows. I'm excited about it. I'm playing with all the toys now, and I'm making mistakes. But this was just simple carelessness on my part. 17 minutes after the hour, we're going to be joined by Jennifer Faust and Sandy Cares. And my thanks to Fred's listening to Fred Klett. Hopefully, he's going to come on next week. Fred was willing to go to the bat for us. That makes sense. He was going to pitch in because one of our guests dropped out, but we had reached out to Sandy Cares, and Sandy had something ready. We're going to be questioned on bridges or tunnels or I don't know, fire hydrants,
Something about the
Jamaica,
Caribbean.
something like that. So
Another one that I'll fail deeply in.
yeah, well, we all will.
No, this one's on NASCAR today.
Oh, I'm going to be the winner.
Yeah,
Wouldn't that be funny if someday she did that? Oh my gosh.
maybe I'll do that next week on the last day. Not the last. By the way, tomorrow is
NASCAR and country music. Count me in.
Remind everybody that tomorrow is our big free for all with Jackie Martland and Joe Silky. Any news on what Joe needs?
He
Nothing.
says nothing.
Nothing.
Oh,
It's all self-contained.
Yeah.
Self-contained. I'm glad you guys read emails. I just don't have. I don't know. I sound like I'm whining. Anyway, and of course, Peter Bales and Mike Reef will be here. Today is Dewey Decimal System Day. It does not deserve its own day. It's what you keep track of library books.
I don't know. It's worldwide, used in 365 different places. He invented it when he was 21 years old. Every library in the world still uses it, even on a computer.
Did he make any money? Or this is a guy named
No.
Huey? It's not Huey Dewey, right?
No, it's Dewey Decimal. His
No.
name was, he had like this crazy name.
Wouldn't it be great if it was Huey?
Yeah, his last name wasn't Decimal. Melville Dewey.
There you go.
That's a perfect name for him.
That's it right there. That screams geek. He was geek. He was Greek before geek was cool. Little
I know. He was
Little
he
bump and
is probably the person that the geeks have pictures in their room of.
I had.
But
Debbie
now
Fry.
I didn't realize that when you go to look for a book on a computer,
Yeah. Still use it?
they still use the Dewey Decimal System.
By the way,
I just go to the librarian. Where's the books on surfing? They're over there. Okay. That's my system.
You don't go to the
Alan.
catalog. You don't go to the catalog file.
No, they don't even have catalog files.
They
in
don't have those
libraries.
anymore.
No, they have computers that still uses the Dewey Decimal System though.
So you look up the book you want, and it tells you
Or
what
the
it
name
is.
of the author, and it will tell you.
you
You
just
know.
go in and
I
say,
haven't been
"Hey,
to a library in ages.
no, we haven't."
You mean they don't have the old card system?
That's the Dewey Decimal System.
No, they don't have the cards anymore.
That's the
That's
Dewey
all.
Decimal System.
In fact, you can buy those cards at Winn-Dixie. They have them near the checkout if you want to take some home with you.
That's where they had the earbuds.
I can't get over it. You get $39 cameras, $6 lights, $8 earbuds. I don't even want to think of
My 4K cameras were $35 on eBay, on Amazon. And then when I set them up, the little card fell out of the box. I told this and says, take 3 pictures of your camera, post a review, and we'll give you a $25 Amazon gift card.
No.
So I bought 2 of them. So the 2 cameras were like $8.
And I will say, everybody's picture today, everybody's color looks good, BJ, and everybody looks good. What happened with this, with Dottie yesterday losing her head, I switched, go figure, I switched cameras. I take the camera that Dottie uses, put it in here, put the camera there, and it's fine. Dottie looks great. I'm digitizing, but that's okay. I'm only digitizing to myself.
It's so little that you can't even tell it.
Yeah.
But with this new capture card, it's not supposed to happen, but it doesn't matter. Okay, we got Dewey out of the way. Keep that line. I don't want to say this guy was the ultimate geek, but geeks have pictures of this guy on the wall. That's Where's Alan? National Lager Day, as in beer?
Yep, as in beer. Light beer. It's brewed different than regular beer. It's ice cold brewed. So what they would do is they would take the beer cellars and they would pack them with ice. And that gives you that light, refreshing
That's what I need.
beer.
That's what I need. Oh, you don't know how close I was to a coffee in Zambuca this morning. Woo, boy, right there, right on the edge. Because the cat woke me up at 3 o'clock
You
this
went the
morning.
second week without it.
I know. Shut up. Just kidding. I'm not edgy. I'm fine. I'll tell you one thing, though. I don't know why the hell I ever bought a $400 Shure microphone. This $80 thing is, I got to go cheap like you, BJ. You're smart.
You earn it.
You're a bar. I wonder if they have microphones at Winn-Dixie. I'm going to go.
We never go to Winn-Dixie, but my wife went to the doctor and her stomach pills, she can't, her insurance won't pay for, the prescription she had. So then she went and the doctor says, you can get these at Winn-Dixie and they'll be affordable and everything. So she went to Winn-Dixie and sure enough, she got her drugs and I got earbuds.
How about that? Huh? That's good.
Yeah, nice family outing.
One Winn-Dixie left, Tom.
What now?
We have one Winn-Dixie left.
Where?
Down across where the old Big Lots used to be on.
Hey,
192.
earbuds for everybody.
That was a great movie. Little ref-
Just before you turn off onto Oak Street from 192.
Oh, that's gone.
Yeah. No, it's
Still
not.
there? Oh,
It's still there.
These things are working great, but they're always like everyone I've ever seen has been over $100.
yeah, $8.99.
Yeah, the Apple ones are $159.
I thought you went for that since you sold the farm. I mean, you were going crazy. You got yourself a golf.
I got too much invested now in that golf cart.
I knew that was going to happen. You got a good deal on it until we got to fix this or fix that or fix that.
Do you have it back yet?
Yeah, we got it back. Got the back seat on it now. If you guys want to come down to, my place, we'll tool around on the golf cart, take you down by the clubhouse and down
We
by the
haven't seen
lake.
a picture yet. You haven't put a picture up on Facebook, have you?
Yeah, that was even my profile picture for a while.
Oh,
It's red, right?
Yeah, red.
Dottie, check our calendars and we'll find out when we might be available to ride around Winter Haven in the golf cart. Today is a National Human Rights Day, which I think is a good thing, right?
Yep, it's the rights to equality, life, liberty, personal security, be considered innocent until proven guilty, marriage and family, own property, rest and leisure, and education, freedom from discrimination, slavery, torture, arbitrary arrest and exile, and freedom of belief in religion, opinion, and information, and probably to not wear a mask.
Yeah. I don't have to wear no mask. I don't have to wear no mask. Listen, I believe, big deal, wear the mask. Shut up, wear a mask. I still read articles about people that thrown off a plane,
They
fight,
argue.
I
I had to go in Walmart yesterday. The first time I was out in my life, I had to go in to pick up something because they couldn't deliver it. And I went in there. I would say 40% of the people had masks on.
see, I've never
in our Walmart, everyone has them on.
And there's a big sign, you need a face covering. Nope.
I have to say,
Wow.
in the 10 times that I've been out in the last month or so, month and a half, running to Publix or wherever, one couple I saw in the store. And I'm laughing because as they're walking without the mask, the announcement comes on the public address system, please wear a mask. And they heard it.
Yeah, no, nothing. I mean, I was shocked. And a lot of people wearing the masks, they have them like almost on their
Like
chin,
this. Here's how they wear their mask.
Yeah, like a goatee guard.
Yeah. I had a guy when I was buying the camera at Best Buy, the camera guy. This is hilarious too, because I went to buy this camera, but I wanted to talk to somebody about cameras. And the girl that said, my camera guy doesn't come in until 11. It was 10. And I said, oh, you gotta be kidding me. I said, I didn't realize, she goes, he's my vendor. I said, what do you mean vendor? Well, he works for he's a Sony guy. I said, well, hell, he's going to sell me Sony then. He's not going to tell me about Canon or anybody else. No, he's good that way, right? So I came back, and let's put it this, was a large man with a beard and a mask for a small man with no beard, and was laughable. And I don't know anything about cameras. And I said, I'm trying to learn. How did you learn? He goes, they gave me a bunch of pamphlets. I go, that's it. That was the answer. He was no expert in anything. So I didn't buy the Sony that was out of, the price was crazy. I bought this Panasonic, which I'm regretting desperately, but I got the lens coming now.
The rule of thumb is when you buy in anything digital, like camera wise, Canon, because Canon invented digital photography.
Yeah.
You can never go wrong. Sony's been trying, Sony and Nikon used to be like the big 35 millimeter camera. They've both been trying to catch up to Sony to Canon for years.
Well, I'm going to try to make this one work because they have a 15% restocking fee. If you take it back, they don't want people to come and get the camera and shoot a wedding.
I know it says people don't need to. What millimeter lenses are on there?
Only one, 14 to something. 14.
So whatever it is, you got to add 40 to that because it's not a full frame lens.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And I'm a full frame guy. So that's why.
So what I'm saying is like when they go 14, like on a 35 millimeter camera, that's almost a fisheye lens. But on a regular, camera, it's really like your standard lens.
But it does.
But it's close.
Yeah, if I put it against one wall and stand on the other wall, it just hits my head, nothing else.
Right.
It won't open.
Just go to huhan.com, $39.99. You're set.
They have cameras at Winn-Dixie? Anyway.
I didn't see. We were in and out. They happened to be by the checkout place because I bought like a dessert for the evening. And so I bought that.
What did you buy?
What did you buy?
Because you didn't name it. When you didn't name it, that's a giveaway. You don't want to tell us. What did you?
All right. Have you ever done this? A cream. What it is? It's a pie. You buy the pie crust. Then you buy a tub of filling, like key lime or something like that. And you put the filling in there, and it's ready to go.
All right. So you made the pie.
Yeah, basically. I mean, a 2-year-old could make that pie.
They have the filling in the bakery department?
No, it's in the
in the
cold
bakery.
It's in the dairy. It's in the dairy department.
Oh.
In the refrigerator.
I thought you were going to say like Pop-Tarts or something.
No, it's like a Cool Whip tub. And then you just put it out and you got to buy two things. You got to buy the
crust.
The pie crust. And it's not regular pie. It's the graham cracker crust. Then you buy that. And you just out of the tube, smooth it out. You got a pie.
Wow.
Say the word pie, BJ.
Pie.
Pie. You got yourself pie.
You want to be my pumpkin pie?
No, really.
Oh, God.
I'll tell you what, you boys.
I was talking to Dottie.
Yeah. Oh, you're doing better than Martley. He goes, hey, baby, you want to sleep with me? Lazy guy, he really is. Dottie.
Tommy.
Let's do this, and then we'll get back to the other people. And also, it's Hanukkah Day.
I'm just calling to wish you happy birthday.
Our birthdays today brought to you by The Snood Factory, www.thesnoodfactory.com for all the latest in pooch fashions. Our first birthday wish goes out to a dear friend of all of ours, Joe Devlin from Brooklyn, New York. Magic, the Matador of Magic.
Let me interrupt right here. And he's so aggravated because he can still fit in that jacket. He wears Toreador pants. You haven't seen his ship show.
Oh, yeah. I've seen that. Actually.
Yeah, Toreador pants and a bullfighter jacket. The son of a gun. He doesn't put on weight.
Goes from here to here. I mean, just a perfect waistline.
I like when he used to have the mustache. He used to look like Guido Sarducci.
And Oceana guest Martin Schwartzberg, a very good friend. We've sailed with them, the family, many times at Oceana. And also Oceana guest Jan Van Hoek, also celebrating his birthday today. So happy birthday from all of us at the Big Broadcast, and Jan from the Snoot Factory, www.thesnootfactory.com for all the latest in pooch fashions and fabulous facial masks.
And we have a real short break, and we'll be right back.
This is Mario Andretti. You know me as a race car driver, but I'm also a Meals on Wheels volunteer. I've raced against the sport's biggest personalities, but I've never met more vibrant, amazing people than the seniors served by Meals on Wheels. You can make a difference by dropping off a hot meal and saying a quick hello. So, America, let's do lunch. Volunteer your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
People been saying to your friend, get a different face, and posting on their feed, they're super ugly. The things they say to them online are cruel and they're not true. So tell your friend, I'll stand up for you. Don't worry, I know what to do.
Know someone being bullied online? You can be a witness and make a difference by letting the world know it isn't cool and by letting your friend know you care. Learn more at eyewitnessbullying.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Hope you enjoyed your meal. And I just want to say, he's lucky to have a brother like you.
Lucky? Caring for my brother is far from easy. But he's a part of me, like my arms and legs, so I'll be his. No time for tired. Nothing can disable this love. He needs me, but I'm the lucky one, even though I need help now and then.
If you're caring for a loved one, visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community support for your strength. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Exclusively playing music of the cruise industry's biggest stars. You're listening to Best at Sea Radio.
Hold me, never let me go until you've told me what I need to know, and then just hold me. Let me tell you I'm in love with you. Thrill me, walk me down that lane where shadows will be hiding others just the same as we'll be, yes we'll be, when you let me tell you I love you. They told me, be sensible with your new love.
I'm having a fun day today.
This is the last you'll find.
I just hit a button for something. I'll be damned if I know what I hit.
Never stood in the dark with you, love. When you.
Oh, this is funny. It's like gremlins have invaded the house. 33 minutes past the hour. That's our good friend Mark Preston. And actually, when I hit screen share, you were supposed to see a picture of Mark Preston, and instead you saw a musical note. So I have no idea what happened there. I need to. You know what? I need a couple of weeks off, and I think we'll start December 18th. And
that commercial's funny, man. Mario Andretti.
Yeah,
Meals on Wheels. If you can catch me at 238 miles an hour, I'll give you a meal.
Yeah. I love when Mario delivers the food. The soup is always hot. It's always hot when Mario delivers the soup. And I don't have to play those, but I do it, so I practice. So eventually, muscle memory, BJ calls it, where I get good at going to breaks and things like that, because eventually someone might sponsor this show. You never know. Today is Nobel. We talk enough about this guy. He's in the next segment.
I know. He's in the next one. But, I did some deeper research on him.
Right.
The age of 17, he spoke 5 languages and had 355 patents.
Really?
17 years old.
Yeah.
He had a picture of Dewey in his room.
I'm just thinking, he's the guy that invented dynamite. So I'm just thinking the first word he learned in 5 languages was the word run.
Run! He started by the time he was 20, he had started 87 companies all over the world.
Wow.
I don't get that. I just don't understand how people can be that smart. How the hell does that happen?
And then the other thing is, after he wanted his money to go to the Nobel Peace Prize, which is a lot of money. I never realized it. when you win the Nobel Peace Prize, it's $1,200,000 American.
But you told me you can't keep it. You're supposed to use it for research.
I guess, yeah.
Sucks.
Meanwhile, his family, after he died, went to court to try to block giving away his money, as good families do.
Most still better than giving it to the cat or the dog, or whatever.
Each prize recognized the fields of physics, chemistry, medicine, literature, and peace. Lindsay better get on the stick.
There you go.
Literature, as she may.
Yeah.
Don't
know. A million too. That would be beautiful. So
would be nice.
This came up yesterday. Ralph is still filming in Guadalupe.
Yeah, he's supposedly being released on the 18th.
Released
from being stuck on his paradise island that he doesn't ever want to leave.
Okay.
Loves it there.
And is he coming to Merritt
Yeah, he's coming to
Island?
Florida. Yeah, well, he's coming to Fort Lauderdale, and then Lindsay and him are going to quarantine for 5 days.
It's down to
and they're getting tested or something. I don't know. I can't figure it out.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say then they're getting married.
I said, you going to get married while you're here? Oh, we don't know what's going on. And the other family update, my son's house is almost finished, so he's all excited. It's only 2 months late because of the COVID, but
John asked his daughter if they're getting married. She goes, "Well, I can't talk about it until the
I can't talk about it. I have an NDA, whatever it is.
Until we sign the license.
Yeah, not disclosure. I can't talk about it. Today, this is embarrassing because I have more than a few friends who happen to be Jewish. Hanukkah is a good thing.
Hanukkah is a celebration. Believe it or not, there's more, as far as Jewish holidays, it's a celebration. It's not as a holy day like Yom Kippur or other ones. It's more of a celebration holiday. It's not considered a significant religious holiday when compared to other Jewish holidays. So this is one where they light the menorah, the 9 candles. The one in the middle lights the other one.
Yeah.
And the kids play with that dreidel, which is
it's
early gambling.
It's early. Yeah.
That's what it actually says in the thing. It's like it's based on gambling. It's playing dreidel is a gambling game popular during the Hanukkah holiday. So I'm not making that up. That's Wikipedia.
I remember this now because when we'd be on the ship for Christmas, they decorate for Christmas, and they always had the menorah on the front desk, and they would light the bulb every day. It signified another day of Hanukkah. They light the bulb. And I said on stage, I said, I like this time of the year because there's finally one place on this ship where every bulb works.
Well, it's traditionally candles, and the middle candle is what they use to light the other candles.
Yeah, on the ship it was bulbs. Right. Actually, I said it's the only place on the ship without a burnout bulb was the actual line. And Dottie
9 candles. I guess it changes every day because I don't want to butcher this Jewish name, but it starts on the 25th day of Kislev, Kislev. Kislev.
Where's Alan? Where's Alan? Alan would tell us.
That's of the Hebrew calendar, so it changes from year to year.
This is when David says we should be able to find him because he became very religious later on. He wasn't for a long time, but he kind of what's that word? Revisited his faith, and he would perform, do comedy at Purim dinners, which I had no idea.
You should have called my son Johnny.
Yeah. Why?
I told you when he went to Israel on that retreat, and he just told them all about the Catholic faith, and they said, "Oh, this guy knows more about the religion than anybody."
There you go. He's a devout boy. All right. Well, that's what happened on this day. Let's zip through. It's 39 minutes after the hour. 11 o'clock. We'll have the update, and then we visit. Is it Jennifer at 11? Jennifer at 11.
Jennifer at 11.
Jennifer Faust, who's a really, really, really wonderful person. Upbeat personality, been traveling everywhere, waiting for a vaccine like the rest of us, and she's an Oceana Club ambassador, which means that she's an ambassador to all of the repeat guests. She makes sure that they're happy, and it was interesting. Only Dottie will understand this. When I was on the internet looking for a picture of Jennifer, almost every picture was Jennifer, you, and the Coels. or Jennifer and the Coels. Jennifer and the Captain and the Coels. Jerry and Elizabeth Cohell are the most traveled Oceana guests, or were. We lost Jerry about 3 years ago now, is it? And they're the best people in the world. I mean, just a dream couple. They're very much like, all right, you have Ryan and Danica, and then you have Andy and Tammy, and then you go a little bit older and you have Jerry and Elizabeth. They were that same size, same love. And I said to Jerry one time, I said, you know, they cruise all the time. And he said, Elizabeth likes it. So he said, you know, we do it. But he said, I like it, but she likes it more than I do. And Jerry walked every day, 3 times a day. He'd be walking around the pool. Loved to walk. And sad, it's really sad. He's out walking with Elizabeth, and one of those yahoos in the truck, big truck, is not paying attention and took Jerry out. And you know, just walking on the street, and where he lived in Indiana, I think. Or where's
He pushed Elizabeth out of the way, or she would have been hit as well.
Where do they make cornflakes? Where do they
From Kalamazoo,
Michigan?
Battle Creek.
Anyways, it's great, just tremendous people. So anyway, so I did find a picture of Jennifer, and I thought that was kind of interesting. It is okay. We have some birthdays here. Born on this day in 1964, and of course, John had to get this one. I almost thought BJ should get it, Bobby Flay, because you know Bobby Flay is a famous American chef, but as far as I know, he does nothing with Spam.
I don't want nothing to do with him then.
You know,
he was born in Connecticut. He has restaurants all over.
Yeah.
He has a steakhouse in the Bagada.
Yeah.
And now he has a chain of like 19 hamburger restaurants.
None of which are I mean, they're all really, really struggling. All these big time guys, and with all their chains to try to keep it going. And it's, you know, hopefully they're going to, before they go home for the holidays, they better get it together and find some money for these people their businesses are folding left and right. And it's just absolutely, because those people actually, you know, under the payroll protection plan, if they have another one of those, they can actually give some money to their employees. But that ran out, so they don't have any money. And then how do you lock people's businesses down in California? You just shut them down and tell them you can't have a career. I get it, but I don't get it. So anyway, I shouldn't have started there. Anyway, Bobby Flay, born this day in 64. How old does that make him? Younger than me, anyway.
64 makes him 14 years younger than me, so he's like young.
Dottie has this one, and I picked this one. There was very little birthdays worth even mentioning today, but I chose Harold Gould to see if I have it right. Is it the Harold Gould, the actor I'm thinking of that was in?
He is an American character actor. He played Miles on The Golden Girls.
Oh, okay, but I remember him from
He is a 5-time Emmy nominee.
He was in this thing.
Yeah.
For 50 years, he was in the entertainment industry, 5-time Emmy nominee, 20 motion pictures, 100 stage plays, and 300 plus television shows in his career. He died of prostate cancer, unfortunately, but he was married to his wife for 60 years.
How about that, huh?
And his big role was Martin Morgenstein on Rhoda.
I don't.
God,
I know he's one of those faces.
He's one of those faces that when you look at him, you go, "Oh yeah, I've seen this guy in everything."
Everything.
Yeah.
I almost put in yesterday, but we had too many. Broderick Crawford, because you know in the old days, I mean, Broderick Crawford was your crime fighter kind of guy. You know?
Yeah, he was.
Again, those were stars. This guy, like you said, you know, when you see his name, who the hell's he? And then you realize he's been in everything. All right, I have Chet Huntley, born in 1911 and died in 74, and I didn't get to it because I was so I have it in front of me.
Okay, he died of lung cancer because they smoked all the time on the show.
Okay, you did.
And he right before he died, he did a 2-hour interview with I know, I met him.
Take it up, man.
Anyway, he did a 2-hour interview where he talked about how he was very, very liberal and very, very conservative his entire life. And he struggled very hard never to bring his political views into his reporting, which is pretty amazing. Dick Cavett, I'm sorry.
Dick
Cavett. Yeah. And the interview is still available on CD.
I was going to go with the BJ approach, which is like we did yesterday with Donny Osmond. I mean, who doesn't know Donny Osmond? What do you want me to tell you about Donny Osmond? Everybody knows he's a member of the Osmonds. He was same thing. Chet Huntley. Who doesn't know who he is? Huntley Brinkley. He was on TV for.
What was his tag?
I don't know.
Good night.
Okay, there you go. There you go.
Chet Brinkley. Good night.
Once again,
this is Chet Brinkley. Good night.
Once again.
Here's a trivia question. What network was he on?
ABC.
CBS.
Was it CBS?
I don't know. I just thought I'd throw out the trivia question.
Good one, BJ. Thanks for contributing.
Someday, BJ, I think that if you were getting paid, I'd have to dock your salary.
He was on NBC, by the way.
Yeah. Peacock. Yeah, absolutely. Who was I talking to yesterday? Paul Edison about. Have you watched Yellowstone, the Kevin Costner thing? It's on the Peacock Network. Have you watched
I haven't watched it.
No. I watched the Queen's Gambit, man. That was really
I know you
good.
said I told you I fell asleep in the first.
Really good. Really good. It's only 7 episodes.
Yeah.
So you should watch it. It's good. Yeah.
I started reading the Michael Connelly book. I don't know if you ever saw the Bosch series that's on Netflix. But he wrote that whole thing. I don't like it because there's nothing like the book. But he also, there was a movie, The Lincoln Lawyer. Matthew McConaughey played the Lincoln.
Right.
This book is the Michael Connelly again about Mickey Haller, and it's messing me up because I'm working this morning and I'm stopping and reading like 6 pages and going back to work. It took me twice as long. It's a really good book. On this day in 46 minutes past the hour, by the way, we'll have another. No, we don't do birthdays again this hour. We're good. You know what? I have a what in the world. Let's just zip this what in the world and then we'll get back to it. And I thought this was interesting because BJ and I, we talk every day and we only talk about one thing. How do you say this name? How do you say this name? What name do you say? How do you say this name? That's what we talk about. So I was looking for stuff, for not on UPI for a change. And I found an article that says that the 2 most mispronounced names this year, you would imagine one of them is Kamala Harris.
That's what I would say. Yeah.
Is it Kamala, whatever. Can you guess who the other name was? The most mispronounced name this year. I was a little
Trump.
No, not. But you're in the same press conference. Let's put it that way.
Melania or something.
Anthony Fauci. Anthony Fauci is the most.
Oh, really?
Is the most mispronounced name. Some of the other this is from a company it was compiled by the U.S. Captioning Company, which captions and subtitles real-time events on TV and in courtrooms. So when they hear the name mispronounced, they have a record of that. So that's what that's about. There were some other people that were also mispronounced. The full name of South Korean K-pop band BTS was mispronounced, and I can't pronounce it. So the hell with that. There's a Greek basketball player on the Bucks, Giannis. BJ, you and I.
No, I've heard the name a million times, and I can't say it right now.
And Tente Kokobobo, Bert and I used to talk about when he gets some of these college players now from the islands or from Europe, and he go, "Oh, give me a break, basketball players." But I have this clip for What in the World. It seems that in England is where they really struggled. So they actually, the BBC put together something to show people, explain to people how to say Anthony Fauci's name. Let's see if it works.
We are looking at how to pronounce the name of the director of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases in the United States and advisor to Donald Trump regarding health issues. Anthony, you know how to pronounce Anthony, of course. And then his last name is actually a common word in Italian. It literally translates into jaws. Yes. How do you go about pronouncing this last name? Fauci. Fauci. Yes, in Italian, the C is pronounced like CH. So do say Fauci. Fauci. Anthony Fauci. Anthony Fauci or Tony Fauci.
And while I am at it, I will teach you how to fix your hard drive.
It was Fauci. I stole it from the BBC, but when he got to the part of saying the name Fauci, he really got into it. hey, Fauci. So I thought of you, BJ, because we're prison. Is it Brizandine? No, Brizandine. And yesterday was pretty easy. You knew Sandy Cares, and the other one was on the easy side. Anyway, that was the what in the world. Well, back to this guy again. On this day, 1901.
We already covered everything about him.
Yeah,
really.
The first Nobel Peace Prize ceremony was held in Stockholm on the 5th anniversary of his death. Okay. We'll skip the next one because I didn't get to it. Okay. In 1884, Mark Twain's Adventures of Huckleberry Finn was published. Who doesn't know about Huckleberry Finn? Everybody's read Mark Twain's Huckleberry
BJ
Finn.
didn't read it.
It's a book.
I didn't read it, but I know about the book.
Everybody knows about Huck Finn going up the river and sailing and scary things. Who hasn't read that? Okay, good.
And Tom Sawyer. Don't forget Tom Sawyer.
Yeah, who doesn't know about Tom? I think, John, you might want to steal this idea from BJ from now on. It's a whole lot less. And then lastly, on this, I found this interesting.
This is really great story.
Yeah, on this day,
it's really great story.
On this day, 1541, Thomas Culpeper and Francis Durham. I should say Thomas Culpeper and Francis Durham.
Okay, so Culpeper was just friends with the Queen. Nothing happened between them.
They were
And
executed.
She wrote him a love letter saying, "I can't live without you." He said, "Hey, look, I have nothing to do with it." King did not believe it.
Yeah.
The other guy had an affair with her, Francis Durham. And I figured you'd like this at the Buckinghamshire House.
Nice. Nice.
And so the king decided that they were both to be drawn and quartered, then beheaded.
Yeah.
And the other guy, Durham, pleaded for his innocence, and all the house people turned him in, right, to the king. And the king said, "Look, I'm gonna have mercy on you. I'm only gonna behead you."
Yeah. What a guy.
before I pull you apart. And then they take all their heads and they put them on spears and put them on top of the Tower Bridge.
Yeah.
So when the people came in, they could see their heads up there.
And that's why no one should ever complain about the state of the world we live in the United States.
Nobody did torture better than England.
For such a lovely civilized people. And by the way, it was King Henry VIII.
Right.
And I have that song go, "I'm Henry VIII, I am."
I've been married so many times before. Everyone was a Henry.
Henry.
Oh, my name Henry. Henry VIII I am. Second verse, same as the first.
I'm just trying to think. They don't mention the beheadings in that song, I don't think, right? I mean,
No.
How bad is that? You get a love letter, from somebody who's got a crush on you. And next thing you know, you lose your head over it.
I know. He actually, I think, reported it to the king saying, "Hey, it's, he didn't, of course, she didn't get blamed. But he beheaded a bunch of wives, right?
Yeah. Anne Boleyn, right?
Yeah. I
Is
think
that where they got the phrase "head over heels"? In love with you?
Yes. Head over heels.
I'm
Yes.
going out of my head.
And the England also, I went to the torture museum when I was in England.
Of course you did.
And they came up with this new thing that if they took a man and turned him upside down and sawed him from the crotch to the neck, he would live a lot longer because the blood would go to his brain and he could enjoy the pain like 3 minutes longer. Like, who thinks of something like that?
Just don't expect it from the English.
Exactly.
I wish Dr. Roger Cartwright was available right now so he could defend that type of rude behavior. Quite rude,
I mean, it's crazy the stuff they came up with,
It is 54 minutes before the top of the hour. Jennifer Faust will join us after the 11 o'clock update. And after the update, you'll be treated to a little magic from someone in the room right here. I've had this thing for I don't know how long. Dottie found it for me. And I think I touched on it really briefly. We actually have a couple of minutes. These are words, unusual words. And have you used these words? Do you use these words? When is the last time you used these words? Gallivant. I've used. My mother would say, "You're going to go gallivanting again?" BJ, you never do you gallivant?
Oh, I use that word all the time.
Yeah.
We were just gallivanting the other day.
There you go. On the
We gallivanted all the way to Winn-Dixie.
and
that's in Richie's act. His dad goes, "What are you doing this Friday night, Richie? Going gallivanting?" He goes, "I hadn't thought about it. Hey, Tony, it's Richie. You want to go gallivanting?"
Another word they say gets used, not enough, breeches. Breeches. You would probably
That's your pants, your breeches.
Your breeches. Codger.
These are just hillbilly words. These aren't words. These are words Northerners don't use. They're not. They're real words that we use every day.
No reason to get angry with us. We'll try to use. Codger, you old codger. You.
I use that.
Yeah,
I've been called that many a times.
Rigmarole. I've used rigmarole. That's
rigmarole's used.
Hoodwink.
I used to think that it was pronounced rigmarole.
Oh yeah,
my whole life. I don't know if that's a New York thing or something,
it is.
right?
I believe I felt the same thing. You know, what a bunch of rigmarole. Yeah, the
That's
L is,
I don't know that one.
the L is silent.
Yeah.
Humbug, we use that one. Skullduggery, jalopy. Have you called
my
your
dad? My dad used to say to me, "What are you gonna clean that jalopy?"
This is funny.
It's a
kibosh.
funny word.
I've used the word kibosh. You put the kibosh on things.
What was that in Bronx Tales? That guy Lenny Kibosh. Every time he bet, he would lose.
That's his name, Lenny Kibosh.
That was like the neighborhood name. As soon as they would all, there was a scene where they all go and bet on the horse, and the horse is number 8, and Lenny comes back and he goes, "Number 8," and they all just rip up their tickets.
Now here's a word that BJ could have used yesterday when he was talking about that lady in Ontario, bodacious.
Oh yeah, there used to be a band in Indiana that actually had some albums out. Never got national exposure, but regional exposure. The Bodacious Band.
Bodacious band, yeah. You wouldn't use the word bodacious at the pickle factory when you open up your restaurant. I don't think. Thingamajig.
It's a bodacious pickle.
Yes. Thingamajig. Kerfuffle.
Thingamajig's got to be a Southern word.
Yeah, because every time I go into like a Home Depot or a Lowe's, I said, "Can I get that thingamajig?"
Yeah, I say thingamajig, not as much as I used to, but I poppycock. Now that's kind of English.
What?
Poppycock.
I've never used that one.
A bit
Well,
of
you use it at the pickle restaurant.
With the P?
Who's a gadget? That's right.
There was that one.
Thingamajig. Who's a gadget? And the rest doohickey.
How about this one? You guys ever say catty corner?
Yeah, absolutely. Catty corner, absolutely. And fiddle de dee and willy nilly. It goes on and on and on.
In Pittsburgh, we would say kitty corner.
We could go and spend an hour on that, but we never get to any of this stuff. I started talking about this. I think that you might have been at that, BJ. I don't know. But these things are actually illegal in Florida. Did you know that according to wherever Dottie found this, showering naked is prohibited? Now, it doesn't specify if you're in Winn-Dixie getting earbuds and you're showering naked. But at home, how do you shower? There's only one way to shower. I guess they mean outdoors.
I break the law every morning if that's the case.
I'm just trying to take the visual out. According to this is number 14 of the things that are actually illegal in Florida. Unmarried women are prohibited from parachuting on Sunday under a possible punishment of arrest, fine, or jailing. I should have researched this. This can't. Where'd you get these, Dottie?
These are actually just weird laws.
But
that they've never changed them.
Now this one, I believe.
Makes you proud to be in Florida.
Yeah.
Floridian.
In number.
Oh, you should see some of the weird ones. There's more strange ones than this. Like you can't date a fish. I forget what state that's in, but you can't date a fish.
Women who fall asleep. This is for you, BJ. Women who fall asleep under a hairdryer may be fined, as can the salon owner. I don't know was it illegal in Indiana if the woman fell asleep when you were guarding them. Old ladies.
I don't know. A lot of women would do that because you'd have to sit under that thing. You know, they were older dryers. Maybe you have to sit under there for like a half hour, 30 minutes.
Yeah, those big things on your head.
I fall asleep all the time when I'm under the hair dryer.
And then we got to go to break. But also this one I knew in in one town in Florida, chickens are considered a protected species.
Key West?
Where would it be in Florida?
Key West.
BJ,
Wouldn't it?
Ron?
Yeah,
Chickens.
Key West.
Key West.
He just said it. He said Key West. Yeah, BJ was right there with it.
That's where I took my famous rooster's ass picture.
Rooster's
that I've
ass.
sold more than any picture I've ever taken.
There was actually, in Indiana, there's a band called Rooster's Ass. I don't know.
Well, no, I'm serious. I was on the phone one day, and they have those little trees, and this rooster jumped up in the tree, and it was like this far away from me. And I just took my camera, I took this picture, and it's like really clear, like everything is clear, and it's kind of very close, so it's got like a weird depth of field. And I've sold it for band covers, album covers. People buy it for. People put it for their bar at home for cocktails. It's just, yeah.
You
need to put that on TikTok.
How did they find it?
No,
I used to have a website where, all my photos would be up there.
Oh, wow.
Well, I would like to thank John for wiping out the visual of BJ showering naked and replacing it with
a rooster's ass.
We'll be right back.
Good Thursday morning, everyone. This is Dottie with the Cruise and Travel News Update for December 10, 2020, brought to you by the Snoot Factory. For all the latest in pooch fashions, here is today's top story. Travel Weekly reports Norwegian could be sailing in Europe before the United States. Norwegian Cruise Line is considering the possibility that it may end up resuming its cruise operations in Europe prior to launching from any U.S. ports, according to Cruise Center, which cites a letter from the company sent to the line's senior officers. According to the site, the letter says, as we approach the end of the first quarter in 2021, we will also start to evaluate the conditions in Europe for the normal seasonal repositioning of vessels and could possibly launch ships in Europe before sailing again in the United States. When asked about the validity of the letter, parent company Norwegian Cruise Line Holdings said, "We are working through a variety of possibilities related to the restart of cruising and will share further information as it becomes available." The letter also says that Norwegian has started reassembling its crews and that the Norwegian Escape and Norwegian Joy are being used as transport ships and will be deployed once we are certain of the ships that will re-enter service first. The Norwegian Dawn and Spirit have been repositioned to Bar City and Montenegro, where both ships sit, waiting further instructions. Several cruise lines in Europe launched operations this summer, including large ship lines MSC Cruises, Costa Cruises, AIDA, and TUI, under conditions that industry stakeholders in the U.S. have been arguing since September could be replicated in the United States. Other stories making the news: Travel Pulse reports U.S. airports offering COVID-19 testing ahead of the holidays. Cruise executives discuss future sailings, current states of the industry, and the importance of how travel companies sanitize. The links to these stories and more are available on our website, www.bestatsea.radio.com. And that's the Cruise and Travel News Update for today, brought to you by the Snoot Factory. www.thesnootfactory.com for all the latest in pooch fashions. Stay safe, everyone.
You're listening to Best at Sea Radio.
Yo, what's poppin'? This is Shaq Diesel. You're listening to the really big broadcast. Almost as big as me. With my main man, BJ the DJ.
Here at the Magic Castle, we have some safety requirements. As people are drinking, so you have to use these little scissors. What I need you to do is just cut the straw. Kidding. Here, take these. All right, what you're going to do is you're going to cut this electric wire. See what it cuts. I can't believe you did that. How did you get those to cut? That's in the show thanks to you. Now you're short circuit. Make it a little bit shorter. I want you to realize just wet your finger. I do, but I don't want to die. Okay, Mr. Magic.
You're listening to Best at Sea Radio.
If it don't work out, if it don't work out, then you can tell me goodbye.
Donnie!
Each morning for a million years.
Look at those hairstyles.
Keep me by your side.
It's so good to see you.
Tell me you love me for a million years. Then if it don't work out, then if it don't work out.
All right, we'll come back there. Hello,
I
Jennifer.
have
with
a-
the
I have a
long hair. You
question.
got it. Wow. Look at that. Wow, the last time I saw you. By the way, welcome to the program.
I probably had really short hair.
You did, and I will say this publicly: we love everybody, but some people we love more. And there's a guy named Farid who was on, and we love Farid. He was. He knocked it out of the park, and we welcome Jennifer Faust, Oceana Club ambassador, one of the best, so professional what she does, and loved by everybody. I would put you right up there with Dottie in terms of the people. When you say your name, they go, "We love Jennifer." You know.
Oh, well, you know what? And I love Dottie, so it's perfect.
Now, let me finish by
we
saying
have a great time working together.
let me finish by saying when they say my name, people go.
No. Well, I have to tell you, thank you so much to both of you, because I think it's the second time that I put makeup on since April.
There you go.
This whole pandemic.
I usually put it on every day, but I didn't today. So,
Jennifer, let me introduce you to everyone. Up in the top, we have John Ferrantino, who is a legendary comedy magician. John and I go back 30 plus years on the SS Norway, where he was a regular, but he toured with Crosby, Stills, and Nash for 7 years on the road, 80 plus television shows. Below him is BJ Odom, a legendary radio DJ and host. He's he retired from the industry, and we brought him back to do our show. So this is Jennifer Faust, one of our Oceana Club ambassadors.
That was kind of
Thank you so much. It's so great to connect.
Let me correct Dottie. BJ does the show because his wife said, "You're aggravating. Find something to do 2 hours a day." That's why he does the show.
Let me miss you.
Ride around naked in the golf cart, but that's not allowed. The community they live in. All right, I'm going to let Dottie ask questions. I swear I will, but I know you've been traveling.
Yeah.
Was someone chasing you, or?
No, I think it's because I was in. I've been traveling on cruise ships, not quite as long as both of you, but like almost 22 years now, and it's the longest I've been home in 22 years. And I realized why I needed to leave, because I've been home that long, and I'm just like, oh dear goodness. And so what I just basically did was I just took advantage of me always wearing a mask, of course, and following all the quarantine rules, and just trying to see the country. And it really worked out, because I reconnected with relatives, my uncle who is in New York, and I've seen about 25 different states.
Wow.
With some of my adventures.
Traveled across from California over to
did.
As far east. Where did you go as far east?
To I
you in Maine?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I was all the way up in Maine. I did all 6 New England states. I stayed in Jackson Hole. I went to Idaho, Montana, and then I drove across the United States from California to New York. And dodging whatever we dodged. It was an adventure. And then I relocated here to a little place called North Tonawanda. It's right on the border. It's in Niagara County. And I know people think I've absolutely lost my mind. You're going from sunny California to average, weather right now is like 32 degrees, 1 Celsius, what have you. But I was ready for a change.
Yeah.
And I love the change of the season, and I've got family out here, and I've reconnected with family I haven't seen. Some of them I've only heard about. And so it's just it's a nice change for me.
Are you originally from California?
Yeah, I was born and raised in California, but I was the first person in our family to be born in California. So all my relatives are from back east. And so I was talking, I reconnected with a cousin of mine who I haven't talked to in over 30 years. And, coming back here, I love the change of the seasons. As long as you're layered up, obviously for the cold, it's fine. And I'm really kind of enjoying just the change. I'm closer to Europe. I'm, closer to Miami if need be. And I'm really, really enjoying it.
I know one thing. BJ is the voice of Best at Sea Radio, does all of our liners, all of our intros. And when we do the opening of the show and we announce that you were on the show, we don't put where you're from because it would have been a problem. Because where did you move to?
I moved to New York.
No, but what's the town?
North Tonawanda.
Yeah,
that sounds like a song.
I know.
And with us today from North Tonawanda. What is
I know. I'm like, no. It's like,
that was an Indian tribe, right? The Tonawanda Indians.
It was. Yeah, there's Tonawanda, North Tonawanda. And it's just my family's from this region, and they're all over the place. So that's the reason why. And I'm in this cute little studio that I've decorated, and it's a lot of fun, and it just feels nice, but boy, once the floodgates opens for me to go back to work, I will be on a ship as soon as possible.
I paid attention to Dottie's 11 a.m. update. And, if you close your eyes, and think about this, restarting in Europe, we're already in February. All right. And the way things are going, why bother with the Caribbean at this point?
Yes.
I mean, it'll be April. And in April, it starts to warm up in Europe, and no repos, just a flight over there and get on a ship. And who would have thought it would take a year more? But they did, because that's why they went out and got 18 months worth of money. But they figured it out. But
I'm originally from New York, so wait till February and you'll see how cute this little change of temperature is.
I know everyone.
That's why we're all in Florida now.
I know it'll be like layers and layers and layers. Oh, yeah.
Down here, I get liquored up. I don't get layered up. Hot as hell, I'll have a drink. The hell with
Although it has been cold the last couple of
nights.
Yeah,
it's been really
cold.
The last couple of nights.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
And you have to see people in Florida when it gets like this.
Oh, I know.
Full on down jackets, earmuffs, gloves, boots, long
I'm walking
underwear.
in a pair of shorts and a t-shirt, and they're out. They've got hoodies tied under their chin to keep the air from going in. Boots, gloves, and I'm looking at them. They're looking at me. I'm like, okay, who lives in Florida?
It's hysterical. It's really funny when you see it.
No, because we don't have any blood. Isn't that what they say? When you
move,
move,
it's so thinned out, I'm sure.
Thins down.
It thins out. Yeah. BJ, but by the way, BJ, I like talking about this. He has a heart transplant and a kidney transplant survivor. And
oh my gosh, you're a lucky miracle.
I got more parts of the chicken McNugget.
Hold on a minute. I don't have a rim shot ready. You're faking me out again. Anyway, so I know we can't say anything about anything because we don't know anything, but no one sent you a ticket to Europe yet, huh?
No, unfortunately not. I was, hoping every time I get the mail. No, I've been in communication, with my boss, Pierre, of course. And, and we're just trying to be as optimistic and as positive as possible. I think that in some cases, I think because of everything being so unpredictable, you come up with these ideas and they sound perfect on paper, and then all of a sudden, life happens and you're like, ugh.
Well, again, Dottie ran a story a couple of days ago of the Royal Caribbean ship that was in Singapore.
Yes, I know.
And the lady tested positive, and she was 88 years old, so she should have been locked off the ship anyway. Who goes on a cruise? Anyway, she tests positive, right? And the next they shut down the cruise. The next day, she's negative. So
yeah, it was a false alarm.
I just had, that just happened to a good friend of mine's husband. He tested positive, and then next thing you know, it was a false positive. Yeah. And so But I've had, fortunately, I have not had the, virus. I know family and friends who have had it. And fortunately, all of them have been, some of them have had it really bad, but they've all recouped after it. So, but yeah, that's the thing is that the testing.
John's Italian, and his aunt is what, 88?
Right.
88. She beat it. No problem.
Good for her.
Yeah.
My 21-year-old nephew had it, and he lost his sense of taste and smell for a couple of weeks, and that was it. He was fine.
Oh, good.
It's crazy right now, but John follows it more than I do. I guess the cold weather has everybody's indoors now, and maybe that's part of the reason.
It probably has some of the reasons. Yeah. Yeah.
So Jennifer, were you out on a ship whenever this whole thing started?
Oh, yes. I was actually part of the Around the World cruise, which was really interesting.
On the Insignia.
Yeah, I was on the Insignia, and I had just joined in South America. And it was actually before the virus even hit South America. So I think for some reason, obviously hindsight's, 2020, we didn't know all this, but I think we were kind of thinking that, okay, we're going to dodge all the bullets because we're in South America. At that time, there were no cases at all. And so I joined, and I was on board with guests for one cruise, which is about 2.5, 3 weeks. And then by then it started obviously trickling down. And then I was on board for a month at sea, give or take. And I was really lucky because I was originally told when we came into Florida, we went to multiple ports in Florida, and they weren't going to allow me off the ship. And I said, hey, I'm an American. And they said, hey, we don't care. That whole thing. And then it was so weird. It was like one of those things from a movie where I was sitting with some colleagues and I was sitting actually having dinner or having lunch. And then all of a sudden, boing, boing, boing. Well, Jennifer Faust, Oceana Club ambassador, please report to the crew office immediately. And I was like, uh-oh. Ran downstairs, and the crew purser said, you're out of here. And it was crazy. Wow. I had my stuff packed thinking, but I really, I threw stuff together, came on, they put on this like diaper on me. They put gloves on me and literally pushed me off the ship. They sprayed down my luggage. It was like, what?
This was Miami? In Miami?
No, this was actually, where was it? Tampa.
Tampa.
It was in Tampa.
Wow.
And I was the only one off, except they were charting a group. I think they were charting a group of Indonesian crew. And then I was out there by myself, and I finally went up to the port agent. I said, I just got off the ship. I don't know how to get to the airport. I have a ticket. 3 of the tickets they had sent me had all canceled. And I said, well, what happens if it cancels again? And she said, just come back and we'll let you on, but then you have to be quarantined for 14 days. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I tell you what, if I'm you and they let me off the ship, I keep my head down, find a cab, and get the hell out of Dodge.
Well, yeah.
I tell the story every time. Andy and Tammy Heath, they got off the ship and were driven by 2 Russians in a van for 36 hours to get home to Kansas. And when they got to California, the Russians had to take a picture of them in their front door with the timestamp, so the government knew exactly that they didn't stop anywhere along the way. That's exactly how long it would take to get from California to Kansas. And the Russians were like, "We've never been to Kansas." They were pretty excited.
Boy,
it's actually act 1 in a movie when you think about it, the whole mess. So and I tell this story all the time. Hansen, Captain Hansen.
Oh God, of course.
He's on MSC. He's fed up. He makes a deal with MSC. He splits the cost of a private jet, and they take him off the ship in a car, take him to an airfield. He gets in a private jet and he gets the hell out of there. Just him, a 10-seater private jet. I'll see you later. And he takes off.
That does not surprise me. With Captain Hansen.
Dottie, did you see? He just posted a picture on Facebook. He's refinishing furniture.
He was varnishing something.
In Islamorada. He's down in
like he should know how to do that.
Where's he at?
He's down in Key West in Islamorada. We're talking about Captain Meinhard Hansen, our buddy.
Oh my gosh.
He's one of a kind.
Well, he was at Trump in Nassau, Trump Hotel or Trump Resort in Nassau.
But
he was in the Bahamas for a little while.
I think we should have thought about what you did, Jennifer. You know how many people over the years have said, come and visit. John, that's happened to you. When people on the ship meet you, they go, come here, here's where we live. If you're ever near, let us know. If we would have gotten all those cards and notes together, Dottie, and just got in the car and called, we'll be there tomorrow. What? No, not now. Not now. As soon as they have a vaccine, we could have went cross country and, bring just a little amount of clothes and whatever. But we haven't gone anywhere.
Yeah.
We all.
I know it was kind of crazy. It was interesting because when we were driving, my uncle and I were driving across the country, you could really see the differences, how certain states, I don't want to say their attitude, but how they were taking the pandemic. And there were certain places we were like, okay, we're not going to stay here because there was no social distancing, no mask wearing. And, and I just said, we both agreed. We just want to stay safe and we want
I'm with you.
So,
I don't understand anybody that doesn't. I don't care whether you question it. I don't care whether you don't believe the science. I just figure it's a little thing to do to protect you and the other person. Just shut up and do it. And we've been on ships for so long. We're aware of how a little people wash their hands.
Yeah.
And now at least when we go, and this new air filtration system, we run an NCL story every day, and I tell the people bluntly, you know why, don't you? Yeah, shut up. We're going to run it every day. And if you don't like it, that's it. So this air filtration system, we were just talking about it, that's going on the ships for not just coronavirus, but for norovirus. And
yes,
everything.
These ships
we're going to have the cleanest ships on the seas.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm not blowing smoke, as we say in Jersey.
No.
They're really, I think probably it worries me because there's probably not any money for guest entertainers now because we have new air filtration systems. And the people who go, there's no show tonight. Shut up. You're breathing good air. Keep moving.
Yeah.
Oh, no. The dancers again. Be quiet. Are you all right? Have you been to the doctor yet? Shut up. We have people every cruise. They run up $2,000 at the medical center because they, whatever.
I know the medical staff might be crying. There won't be a ghost.
What about Jennifer's job for the layman is basically two things. One, babysit our repeaters. And two, take the new ones and make sure they become repeaters when people are interested in another cruise. And Jennifer does a tremendous job. Offers people suggestions, places to go. She doesn't go, here's your brochures. Call me when you want to do something, because people are curious about everything.
Yeah.
So I want to know, of all the places you've been around the world, when you have someone sitting across from you at the desk and they've only been on a 7-day cruise in the Caribbean,
right?
Now they want to go somewhere. What do you tell them first?
Well, I would always recommend, are they interested in Europe? Because Europe is probably kind of like that transition. You go to the Caribbean, you go to Europe, and then if you've been to Europe, hey, let's try the Baltic. If you enjoyed, Europe, whether or the Mediterranean, Eastern, Western, hey, let's go up north to the Baltic, because as we all know, the Baltic region is gorgeous.
It is.
And if you still kind of are in that vein, let's do something let's really up the ante and maybe do Norway and do that whole region up there, which is great. And then I think once guests think they want to start to branch out, because my favorite place to cruise is going to be in Asia. I love Asia. And there's so many things to do, whether you go into, let's say, Japan, which is probably my favorite place to visit, or Southeast Asia. And then I would say, and then eventually going down to South America, but I think.
Where do you put the South Pacific?
I love the South Pacific. The problem is, the only thing I have to say that I get anytime guests get a little begrudging about the South Pacific is because of a lot of times the sea days, if you're going to sail over there or you're there or getting there. But the South Pacific, I have to ask them, do they like sun? Because some guests, if the guests are into the Caribbean, hey, head west as far as you can, and let's go to the Caribbean. And then if guests aren't into the sun, then,
when we get them a dinner, first cruise, second cruise, believe it or not, we get first time cruisers on Oceania. That's their first. Yeah. And I laugh. I go, you're never going to go anywhere else. Don't disappoint yourself and go try that one because it's cheaper. But then they say, we want to go to Bora Bora. We want to go to the South Pacific. And I go, stop it. I mean, have you been to the Baltics? Have you been to the Med? Have you been to the Amalfi? And what about Asia? Even Alaska? But in South Pacific is great if you snorkel or scuba. And Dottie always kicks me under the table. Just don't disappoint. No,
I can't imagine why she would do that, Tom.
Oh, no.
For the people watching now, you know why I get excited when I talk about Jennifer, because that's what you do when novices people come in, or it's the opposite. What about the people that already have done 45 cruises and they come in, they go, where do we go now?
And that, you know what? And I will tell you, with Oceania Cruises, that does happen.
Sure. Yeah.
That does happen. I would say, the place that I recommend that a lot of people haven't gone, but it's starting to become more popular is maybe the Amazon, or we'll have a brand new itinerary with brand new ports in a region maybe they've already been to, but hey, these are 3 brand new ports that cruise ships have never gone to. What do you think about this? And then, funny, Tom, you should say that, but there's some guests that like to do the same itinerary over and over again.
Well, it's a joke of my act. Oceania has won awards for going places that no other cruise line goes to. And when you get
Tom could never have your job. Tom could never have your job. This would be Tom. This is Tom. You want to go to the Amazon? You like mosquitoes the size of bats? That's a good answer.
Totally.
You want to go to the Panama Canal? Go empty your bathtub 15 or 16 times. You you like cold? Go to the Arctic. I stay inside.
You never leave their zip code.
The South Pacific is the only place that I put the kibosh on. Unless you've been everywhere in the world, don't bother, because there's so many other great places to go. And even the Amazon.
The water is very blue.
I don't like the Amazon personally, but I will tell you that every guest that goes there loves the Amazon.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget watching, guests are just, I'm not going to say the word, but they think because they're on a cruise, they're invincible and everything's going to be perfect. And I'm watching the tour loading in the Amazon, and they're getting on 1945 military trucks, those ones that the guys would sit on the back on the wooden with ball tires, right? And they're literally getting onto this thing, and they're going to go down ugly, bumpy roads into jungles with mosquitoes and things and take pictures. And and I always love the guys in the Amazon. They go to LL Bean and they buy all the gear. They buy the pants, with the pockets in it. They buy the safari jacket. They buy the helmet to wear, the mosquito net, the whole 2 bottles of water. It's 100 degrees in the Amazon. They're off the ship 20 minutes. They come back, screw that, and they're by the pool. They're like,
you can go piranha fishing in South America.
Exactly. Or the one thing we also get is the quote, well, I don't want to get wet. And I say, well, it's a rainforest. Rain for operative word is rain for
the South Pacific. We go in the rainy season, and it's so much fun to watch Americans because it's pouring down rain every day. And I said to the lady, it's the rainy season. Yeah, but how much could it rain? I said, it's the rainy season. Didn't your travel agent tell you that? It rains. Yeah, we don't believe it though. It can't rain every day. What place, where do you go where it rains every day? Here, it rains every day here, lady. You're here in the rainy season. So stop complaining. It's unbelievable.
So much liquid sunshine. Lots of liquid sunshine.
I'm trying to remember my piranha joke. Help me out, buddy. People were going flesh-eating fish. I can't even remember.
Wasn't it a phone number?
I can't even remember. I gotta look. It's so bad. It's been 9 months, 8 months. I have to look at video of my show to remember what the hell I know. We went to the Amazon. People go flesh. I'll think of it later. I'll shut up now.
Have you seen Fareed at all through all this?
Well, I see him like how we're seeing each other now. I mean, I talk to him every day. We talk to each other multiple times a day, and because I was on another ship, he was on another ship. And then when I was supposed to go to France, we were not allowed to go. So we're still not allowed to go to Europe. He went home, and then went home for a little bit and then went back to the ship. In fact, he's leaving. He just got his medical redone and he's leaving for Riviera like the beginning of January. And I said to him, with unfortunately with our country's numbers and blah, 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 that the risk of him coming out here, and if God forbid he does get sick, I just didn't want that on. And I can't even go to France. Even if I wanted to go to France, I can't even go to France.
Well, maybe when they hit the reset button, they could figure the schedules out now where they might put both of you people together because you're both what I would consider the A team, and pairs should be able to get with the other pair. And the two pairs could figure something out once and for all.
Do we have a wedding date set?
What's that now?
Do we have a wedding date set?
Nothing has been set yet.
Yeah.
But you know what? We've talked about it. And I think, I think it's one of those things where we just want to get back to work and we can go from there.
Yeah. Well, you're going to marry a good cook, though. That's a good deal. Never
Yeah,
had-
that's nice.
He's
He
cooking
told us
for
he
you
was
every
actually
single
cooking.
day.
He was
I
actually he told us he was actually back in the kitchen cooking.
Yes, every day he's sending me pictures of all the different things that he's baking and cooking. And he's really doing a lot of baking, which is, I was really surprised because he enjoys baking, but he's doing a lot of that. And he has his son. And so his son and him are cooking together. His son now was thinking about becoming, a pastry chef. And so every day he's cooking something, which is, I've already asked him can you please send me a couple of those portions of what you're cooking? It looks really good. Yeah.
Well, we're you know what? It always happens. We're out of time. And I'm not sure we even asked many questions, but we talked about a lot of things. And BJ, do you have any questions about cruising? Any information you want to know about Norway before we go?
No, they don't cruise like down south, do they? And then I might be able to talk to them.
BJ's from Indiana, and his whole career was in radio. A couple of cruises, but he's not one of our. Not one of the ship people like us. Well, no, he was
Ship
home
with a P. Ship.
I'm a land turtle.
Yeah, he went home. He had a life. He had a life at home. It's unusual.
Come on over to the other side eventually.
I really, in all honesty, what I think keeps me away is due to the fact that I do have health issues, and if anything would ever happen and I would be out there, I would just go.
I'm with you. No,
Yeah.
I would. Yeah, actually, BJ lives in a villa right on the hospital property. It's right there. Yeah,
Well, come on, Oceana, because we're gonna have the best, cleanest air in the world.
I'll have to.
Here.
And I've been saying for a while they love branding. They need to make a deal with the Mayo Clinic or the Cleveland Clinic or a major hospital chain, and that's who should operate the medical centers. So when people get on board, there's a name that. And again, they could pick one in England, but whatever. But the name they all go, oh yeah, the doctors are from such and such. But I keep waiting for Frank Del Rio to reach out to me, and not one word. It's really amazing. So I'm full of great ideas for me and FDR, but I guess he's a little busy trying to keep the company afloat.
In 9 months, he hasn't called you.
Not a bit, not a peep, not an email. What can you do? All right. Well, you look great, and I'm glad you're healthy, and you went around the country, and you didn't get COVID. And you can't get COVID FaceTiming with a Frenchman, I don't think.
No.
The only thing I miss, Jennifer, is the flower.
I know. And I know I was going to I was like, I've got to wear my flower. I've got to wear my name badge. Oh, I left everything in California. I was very limited on space that I could, because we drove across, the country. So hopefully when we're called back, I'm going to fly back to California, redo my medical, all my cruise ship clothes, my big flowers, the bag that you gave me years ago, Dottie, I still travel with it to this day. My bag of flowers. You gave me this little decorative bag, and it is wonderful because my flowers all fit in this bag, and I always have it packed and ready to go.
I remember that. That was Christmas.
Yep.
That was Christmas. Oh my gosh. I do remember that.
Do you
and I have to tell you, Dottie, the dishcloth that you
The dishcloth?
Yes, it's in my sink right now.
Very good. Jennifer sent me one of the first dealer masks I had too.
If you don't have anywhere to go, I'm about to hit a button and let Sandy Cares in, and Sandy is going to quiz us about something, and we don't know.
Okay, good.
Stick around then. Sandy,
because we don't know anything. She asked.
And Sandy's working without a green screen because she was nice enough to say she could join us today. We had a fallout. So, Sandy, you happen to know Jennifer Faust, I believe.
Good. Jen, how are you?
There you go. All right, we're going to go now. You two talk. And we'll have a good day. And we welcome to the program an old friend of the program. I don't mean old in age.
word.
Andy has been helping us out from the very, very beginning. And also Dr. Dave Plowd, and we've had Harry Strong on, and Dr. Roger Cartwright, and Tom Stauffer, and Harry Chittick, and Graham Dennison. We pretty much put the arm on anybody we can, and we keep putting the arm on Sandy in a nice way. By the way, I call this Ladies' Day. I hope that didn't come across as sexist, because look at the bottom of the screen. We got 3 beautiful women beneath. On my screen, you're beneath, but I don't mean that. Oh, shut up, Tom. Let's move on.
Shut up, Tom.
Hey, Dottie, you take over. I'm
on mine. There, ladies are on one side, men are on the other.
All right. Well, it's Battle of the Sexes then.
There we go. We could make it that. There we haven't done
All
that
I know is I
once.
wore my English leather today because I heard it was Ladies' Day.
Yeah. Yes, cologne on and underwear. So
Great. That's great. You smell like an old saddle.
hello. Hey, snuck that in. I'm late again. Hold on. All right.
I'm not
Wait a
sure.
second.
Sandy and I talked about a couple of different things, so I'm not sure what she settled on as far as the little quiz today.
Jennifer, it's going to be really hard.
Okay.
Sandy froze.
Sandy froze.
Oh, Sandy's frozen.
Easy one. I pulled together overnight, so I'm not sure if I remember to put everything into it, but I'm going to do this the way Dave did as a PowerPoint, if that's okay.
You can do
So
whatever you want.
I'm going to share the screen. So
Uh-oh.
picture will appear very big, kind of. So, yeah. Okay. We just have to do it this way because the other way it wasn't working out. I'm with my mom and I'm on a pretty unstable Wi-Fi, I'm finding out. Can you all see this?
I don't see your screen.
You don't see my screen?
No.
Oh, dear.
We see you though.
We see you.
Oh, that's not what I want. Okay. Just
Is it cold? Is it cold in Jupiter?
no, I'm not in Jupiter. I'm in Michigan right now.
Still up in Michigan.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's quite
yeah.
cold there.
I thought your mom was in Jupiter.
We both were, but we're both back in Grand Rapids right now. I don't know if this is going to work out, Tom.
But can you just do it verbally? You can
I
answer.
can do anything verbally, sure. And
Yeah.
the first thing I'm going to do is
If not, we can
remind
just-
everybody. I mean, you're smoking me up because you were asking if I would ever talk about NASCAR. Do you know, I actually went to the Michigan International Speedway once years ago in field and fell asleep during the race.
How can you fall asleep during a race?
You know, and I don't drink beer. Everybody knows that about me. It was just that it was so loud, in a very hot sun. And I'm going to try once more, see if I can.
If not, you know what? We have a nice group here. We can just talk about anything.
All right.
I
All
went to the Indy. I fell asleep at the Indy 500, but I was wasted. So, and I hadn't slept for 2 days. I rented a Winnebago and we drove it from New Jersey to Indianapolis. It was full of steaks and booze and everything else. And when we got there, I was exhausted. And it was the year that Bobby Rahal won the race with milliseconds or whatever. And they woke me up to tell me, boy, you missed a great race. And I went back to sleep. That was pretty much how that worked out. The noise didn't bother me a bit. So Sandy and Jennifer, you both been on the same ship at the same time, correct?
Oh yeah, many times. Oh yeah. We did a couple Cuban seasons together, and our rooms are always right next to each other.
Run away, I think.
I just like the way that's a couple of Cuban seasons together. It's not spices or salt and pepper. It's just the actual which probably is going to happen again.
I hope.
I would predict that in this administration that Cuba will reopen. I believe they have a different point of view when it comes to that. So we'll be able to ride around in a 55 Chevy.
Sandy wants to do more than just Cuba, though. No.
Oh, I'll do anything. I just
at this point.
In fact, I was actually today going to present some bridges from other parts of the world, not just from the Caribbean. And the first one was, well, I got to thinking about Sambuca and wondered if there was such thing as a Sambuca bridge. Guess what? There is. There was. It goes back to ancient times. Because a Sambuca, we know, is that Italian drink, you know, anise flavored. But it was also in ancient times kind of a lyre, kind of or instrument. And the way that it looked, it had this kind of long stem to it. And oh, did you lose me? They would take two of those and put them, huge ones that looked like Sambucas, on two ships, and then build a bridge between them. And it was called a Sambuca bridge, and it was actually used historically in the attack on Syracuse in the 300s BC, 2 or 300s BC.
I'm going to write that down so that I have some reason to justify. I believe that in a former life, I was a Sambuca bridge builder.
You might have been the inventor.
I think that's what happened. That's what I did. When was it, in 300? Back in
213 BC.
Yeah.
213 BC. And the inventor was a chap by the name of Heraclides of Tarentum.
Yeah.
So it was kind of interesting to think.
See, there's BC and there's BS. Right? There's BC and BS. BS is before Sambuca, and BC is before Christ. So there's before Christ, and then there's before Sambuca. And then I didn't know there's such a thing as a Sambuca bridge. By the way, I will tell you, Sandy, that there's just milk in this. There's no Sambuca.
Bummer.
What happened, Jennifer, is that we got a feeling that it might be restarting, and the suits don't fit, and so the wine and the Sambuca had to get sharply curtailed. But now, I'm thinking I'll be the last to go probably. So I might as well have some Sambuca. I'll have it later, and then I'll build a bridge. So a Sambuca bridge, pretty.
Let's go on to another bridge if you can use your imagination. And a lot of you have been to this particular bridge because it swings wide open. And it's in one of the deep southern Caribbean islands. And it connects two parts that are just wonderful to explore. Oh, I see hands up. So what are we talking about?
No, I'm scratching the top of my head.
On three. 1, 2, 3. Curacao.
John knows this. He's just looking up Sambuca Bridge because he thinks it's a bail.
Nah.
He thinks you made it up. So
I got a text from Dottie. I was trying to figure it out.
Yeah, I actually have pictures from my most recent trip there, which was in about February or March, this year. And the one thing that I love about it, and I try to convey this to the guests on the ship, is when you get off of the ship, you do a little wiggle waggle, you walk down, through the guest area and so forth. And then you find your way at this bridge, and sometimes it's open. So you just have to wait until the whistles blow and the alarms go off, and then it closes to connect. And it's a pedestrian only bridge. And when it was built, they used to not charge a toll. They charged a toll for everybody unless you were poor enough not to afford shoes. Then you got free. So the people, the Dutch people, of course, they're thrifty, they're known for that. And they took their shoes off so that they could go through without paying the toll. Now, of course, it's free and it's a lot of fun. They call it the Swinging Old Lady because it is the Queen Emma Bridge, named for one of the Dutch queens, because of course it's a Dutch former colony.
And the other part about that is that people don't wait for the bridge to completely connect. It's about 2/3 of the way over. That's good enough. And they climb under the bar and they start walking anyway, because they go there 5 times a day so they can time when they wouldn't fall into the water. I think we covered this one of the quizzes. Why do they paint all their houses and buildings different colors? Is there a reason why Curacao is so colorful?
There used to be in these islands a sort of myth that people would paint their house according to the the kind of a livelihood that they had. This was something that was kind of bandied around, for example, in Bermuda, but it probably isn't all that true, where, you know, if you had a greenhouse, it meant you made your living as a fisherman, or if you had a blue house, you made your living as a, you know, something else.
And what about the red house?
The red house, and it's funny because it's funny you say, oh, well,
Yeah,
anyway,
never
that's gonna
mind.
go into another. Red is usually an inexpensive paint, at least in the United States. And there's one thing that I was looking up with all these covered bridges. And I know, BJ, you're from Indiana, and there are a lot of covered bridges. And most
They
of
actually
them,
have a covered bridge festival in
Oh,
southern
really?
Indiana.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. There's
Of
one
course
that-
they do.
as well. And
Put on the new britches and they go.
They put on new britches, they go gallivanting down to the Covered Bridge Festival and have themselves some cotton candy and jerky.
yeah, they tend to be red because the red paint tends to be inexpensive.
Yeah, I didn't know.
But anyway, do you want to go on to another bridge or just keep talking?
Wait, we can do whatever.
I've got-
What
I
color?
got-
Well, what color are the houses, Jennifer, in North Tonawanda?
Well, you know, it's funny because the street that I live on, which is Goundry Street, used to be called like $1 Million Avenue because it was during the lumber trade. So most of the homes here that I'm on this street with are just these old mansions, or it's absolutely gorgeous. And my place that I live in is actually where the servants that used to cater the mansions, that's where they lived. So they just built this little studio on top of that. But no, they're all some of them are pink, some of them are blue, you know, brown, gold, all different colors. And a lot of the homes have like 5 and 6 and 7 bedrooms. It's a beautiful street.
Now, are you close to? Can you walk to things in town? Oh,
Yeah. There's a little Main Street area that's maybe like a half a mile, if that, like down the street. I mean, but it has, you know, about 20 minutes outside where I live, has all your normal services and stuff. I mean, they have a Trader Joe's, they have you know, a Whole Paycheck, they have a Target, they have, you know, really anything you need. It's
What
just
about
not
that-
here in the downtown area.
Taco Bell. They have a Taco Bell. And only BJ loves Taco Tuesday, so I just check in case he ever came to visit.
Yeah, but that's at Tijuana Flats, not Taco Bell.
You go upscale. Pardon me.
Upscale, my tacos.
The $4.95 includes a drink.
Yeah, and chips.
So Michigan Cares. Why would you? I know it had to do with the sale of your house, but why would you be in the holidays? You're in Michigan for the holidays. It's cold, isn't it?
All right, you're talking to me. I live here. I have a house here in Michigan that I just sold last week.
Okay.
And and I mean, I closed on it. And since I got back and I'm at Mom's house. Her house is a mile away from where mine was, so I'll be here until I, you know, reposition.
Oh, weren't you in Mom's house in Jupiter?
Yeah. Okay.
That's
yeah,
why I
she's
get.
got a house.
But
Right.
so she decided to go to Michigan in the winter.
We came up in September. We had
Ah.
been down in Jupiter for 6 months, and I had to, I had doctor's appointments and other things. So
Oh.
I came back up and she came with me, but she'll be heading back down again. But I'll probably be heading down to move officially to Miami. So it's been a couple months of lugging boxes and packing and all this kind of thing. And I've got 1,000 books at least that have to go with me. So I like to think I'm a
BJ.
light chapter, but I'm not.
Yeah, you see, BJ has it made. BJ has read 3 books in his life, so when he moves, it's really the library is he puts it in the shopping bag and off they go.
0 bucks.
Kind of an inside joke. All right, well, I wasn't prying into your personal affairs, but I'm just curious
no,
why
and-
anybody would head to cold weather. It's cold here. It was 30
And ironically, it's really warm. Right now, I'm looking out on the lake and it is very, very warm out here. Probably heading into the high 40s or 50s, which is incredible for this time of year. Usually
Yeah.
we're up.
Yeah, the same weather we have.
Yeah, it's cold here. Is it snowing in North Tonawanda?
No, it did last week, and we're expected to snow next week or maybe this weekend. But no, it's fine. But I mean, it's the sun's out, but it's still very cold. It's still very, very cold.
Do you ski?
I used to ski, but I haven't skied in a while, only because of working on ships and God forbid any injuries. But yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the one thing I've stopped seeing.
You have to be careful there.
It'll be a good time to start again.
Yeah, definitely. It's the time to do it.
You missed 6 months.
True.
Well, Sandy, do you have another question that we can try to get?
I've got tons of them. I've got so many here,
You
and
got
I wish
that
I could share these pictures with you, but it's okay. There's a tiny, tiny, smallest drawbridge in the world in one of these islands. And this little drawbridge is actually called a movable bridge. It's made out of stone, and it goes back to the first parliament of this place, 1620. Of course, it's been rebuilt a little bit, but most of the original stonework is in it. And they call it movable because any motorboat can go under it. It's pretty low, but if a sailboat comes along, it's not going to make it. So what they did is they took out this sort of strip in the middle of it, and they replaced it with a plank of wood.
And they
wide and spans the width of this bridge. So if someone comes with a sailboat and they need to go through, they just wait and holler at a pedestrian. Hey, can you help us here? And the pedestrian will reach down and pull that plank out and then take the sail by the mast and guide it, the whatever couple of feet through the bridge until it gets to the other side. Smallest drawbridge in the world. They call it
I know where
Any
that.
idea where it comes from?
Yeah,
Where it is.
I know where the bridge isn't. It's not New York. That sailboat will be sitting there for a while going, hey, get your own plywood. Get the hell out of here. I'm late.
I was on my boat sailing around Merritt Island, and I have no power on the boat. It's a catamaran, and I'm making circles waiting for this drawbridge to open. And I'm on the radio, and I'm going, drawbridge, drawbridge. This is the captain of this catamaran. Please let me through the bridge. I have paddles because you got to at least have a paddle to go through. Nothing. 20 minutes later, finally, the guy, this is what I hear. I am not a drawbridge. I'm a swing bridge.
Really? Well,
and I go, would you open the stupid swing bridge? Yes, Captain. After I circled for 20 minutes, no power in like a channel the size of a double lane highway.
All I can think of is when the guy goes, I'm not a drawbridge, I'm a swing bridge. Hey, pal, whatever you do in your own time is your own business. Okay? just let me through.
And these guys get very defensive of what kind of bridge they have, apparently.
All right, so it's this. Is it in the Caribbean? Am I warm?
Technically, no, it is not in the Caribbean, but it's this island archipelago is sometimes.
Oh, I think it's the B word. Maybe.
No, sweet. Well, where's the archipelago? It's in Sweden.
Did say that again?
Huh? Sweden?
No.
What's
all these Caribbean islands and around our archipelagos.
Oh, okay. See, I only know.
I'm
only familiar with the ones in Sweden.
Is it like Bermuda?
Yes, it's Bermuda. I mean, they're
Hey.
very friendly there. That should be the giveaway because they're, they're the kind of people. I mean, they're all living on this tiny island. There's nothing else to do. So if someone comes up and they need a hand, they're bound to give it to them. So yeah, that's one place that if you blink, you miss it. And the public buses go over them all the time, over and over. And you just have to ask a local sitting next to you to point it out.
As long as you don't yell, you can't yell, hey, you with the short pants. Help me out over here. You with the short pants and the jacket and tie. Can I get a little help?
And the knee socks.
Yeah. That outfit. Who dressed you? Anyway.
And speaking of Bermuda, I'm going to make an interesting connection. If you've ever been to New York, there is a bridge called the Outer Bridge. Anybody familiar with that?
Outer Bridge Crossing, right?
The Outer Bridge Crossing, exactly. Where do you, John, you're familiar with it. Where do you think it got its name?
Yeah, too much time.
It connects Staten Island to New Jersey.
Right.
Oh,
I don't
No idea?
No.
Well, it's interesting. It's actually, a lot of people assume that it's the outer bridge because technically it's farther out than another bridge. So you can just kind of assume that, but it's not the case. It's actually connected to Bermuda in a very interesting way. it's named for a man. His name was Eugenius Harvey Outerbridge, and he was the first chairman of Port of Authority in of the Port of New York Authority. He was connected to a family in Bermuda by the name of Outerbridge, and his actual sister, Mary Outerbridge, was the person who introduced lawn tennis to the United States from Bermuda. So there's a tennis connection, a Bermuda connection, and a hot peppers connection, because the Outerbridge family, very, very wealthy and famous, a real old established family, made their fortune cherry peppers sauce. Jennifer, I know you know about that. When you go to Bermuda, you tell me.
Yeah.
It's one of their local favorites there, and they like to put it in the fish chowder. But that's an interesting connection between Bermuda and this bridge in New York.
Yeah, and it was also how you didn't have to pay for the Verrazano Bridge toll.
Oh,
it was free. It was a free bridge.
I got a question, Sandy. Are you disqualified from playing trivia on the ship? Can you play trivia?
I don't, and I don't because I.
Yeah, you seem to know a lot.
I don't think of things out of context, but it's all in context. What I do. Yeah. No. Oh, God. All right.
You are more than welcome to play my trivia.
Jennifer's
Why are we on Jeopardy?
Yeah,
in one day, she forgets more than BJ ever knew.
And I have to interrupt again. I apologize, but I must ask BJ, did your $8.99 earbuds crap out?
What happened? They didn't crap out, but I guess the battery, because I had them on for a little over 2 hours. I guess they only last 2 hours. So anytime we go into overtime, I'm going to be in trouble.
All right, we're on time today. BJ was in Winn-Dixie. BJ had a pair of earbuds on this morning, and those are expensive. No. He found a Winn-Dixie for $8.99.
Winn-Dixie.
His camera came from China for $650 and he's look at this. It looks good. Well, he don't look good, but yeah, picture looks good. Sounds good. I'm jealous. All my stuff costs a fortune and it breaks all the time. So anyway, I'm just talking nonsense, but that's okay. It's a nonsense Thursday. So you're going to stick in Michigan for how long, Sandy?
I'm I'm just making plans to kind of go down and check things out in Miami. I'm kind of like everybody else, waiting to see when the ships are actually going to sail.
But now they're saying Europe, so maybe you want to look at something in Venice.
No, I'll go wherever they send me. I'll make it work.
That's the latest story Dottie had this morning, that they might restart in Europe, because as it keeps getting delayed, when are the repos normally, Jen?
They're usually in April.
Yeah, in April. Yeah. April, May.
But that was Norwegian, Tom. The two ships, there's two ships in Montenegro awaiting further information.
Yeah, but
there's two NCL ships that are out in the Southeast. One's in Southeast Asia, waiting to bring crew over to the ships. And we may have some Oceania and Regent crew on those ships as well.
So
Oceania usually does it's April-ish when we did our Riviera crossing for the Mediterranean season.
We were supposed to be join Serena in Dublin on September 21st.
And then bring her back over.
And I would, would have been Dublin again.
We were planning on staying at a castle, because I've always wanted to stay in a castle. And we had tentatively made plans to pick a castle out in Dublin, stay for a couple days, get on the ship. But
have you ever done that? Anybody? Jennifer, Sandy, you ever stayed in a castle? Drafty, isn't it? Drafty.
No, I don't think I've ever have, actually. Yeah, I think it would be a little drafty.
Everything I think of Dublin, I think me and Dottie had the worst corned beef we've ever eaten in our life in that pub.
Yeah, well, they're not doing.
Do you remember that? We went in there where they had corned beef and cabbage. We were like, "Oh, great!" And it tasted like it was cooked in formaldehyde.
I don't know. Don't remember in 25 years on ships ever having an Irish executive chef.
No.
I actually stayed in Dublin for 5 days before I was meeting Farid on a ship, and I was coming on board as a guest. and I had a delightful time, but it was, but I didn't stay in a castle, but it was a good time.
Yeah.
I mean, Dublin's a great city.
Oh, it's a great city. Yeah.
That's a great setup for the story. I didn't stay in the castle, but my hotel was real drafty. I mean, the breeze was coming through the wall. What the hell is going on? Maybe the castle would be better because it's concrete or cement or whatever. I'm having trouble with my earbuds. Well, you probably know the story of this show. This started back in May because BJ's son is very successful in internet radio, and I said to myself, how hard can it be? And we'll just leave it right there. And John came on 2 weeks into the program, and then eventually I talked Dottie into doing it. Dottie did not want to do the show. She said, "What would I say?" And she said a lot, actually. And then BJ was doing a different morning show, and they went a different direction. And his wife said, "You find another direction to go back to because that's something." And we've been friends forever. So we've had a lot of fun. We're going to finish this show up next Friday on the 18th. And it's going to go into reruns because we have about 130 episodes. So it's going to, or shows, it's going to go into reruns. Sandy's already been Sandy, you're twice this week, because you were on Monday's show was a
rebroadcast
way back in July. And we're going to come back after the first year with 2 shows a week on the weekends. On Saturday and Sunday, they'll come out. People are getting back to work, have lives, stuff like that. So we're going to keep it going, but we're just going to cut it down a little bit. We're so grateful for John arranges a lot of the guests on Wednesdays and Thursdays. So we've had, I don't know, probably 40 magicians, great magicians. We had a guy on that ate a light bulb. You don't see that. This show,
for real.
Ate, not a trick. Ate a light bulb.
Took it out of his lamp and ate it.
Yeah, and I mean, some tremendous people have been on the show. And Richard Ambrose joined us, the senior vice president of entertainment.
Oh, nice.
Loads of cooks.
All the
chefs.
All the
from the culinary.
I'm sorry, chefs. I didn't mean to say cooks.
All the chefs. Captain Kristovich, Luxa joined us. Victor.
Oh, really? Victor and Mark GMs.
Mark Von and Victor. Mine aren't. Hanson joined us, and it was as quiet as I've ever seen the man. I mean, he was so quiet. I don't know what he was afraid of. Maybe saying, maybe saying, I'm leaving people out. I mean, the lectures. I mean, people have been so supportive, and all of those are still we have them. They're a library of all these great conversations. I call them with people where you never know where the conversation is going to go, and it always ends up.
And there's so much information, you can't keep up with it. You'll hear somebody mention something and say, "Oh, I want to look into that," or "I want to review that particular show." And before you know it, you don't have time, and the next show comes on its heels, and you have just done an incredible job of bolstering this, keeping everybody's, keeping the gears going with everybody. And the amount of information coming through this show is encyclopedic.
Well, that's just when you're on. Sandy comes on just to embarrass us. And Dr. Dave Plowd, I'm responsible for, he's got a green screen, an extra monitor. I mean, the guy is, we got to get him on before the final daily show. And so many of the lectures came on and
my new bromance.
Yeah. John has a catamaran. He's a surfer. He's all about the water. And so Dr. Dave comes on, and the two of them just hug it up virtually, and we stay out of the way. That's how it goes. So anyway, we still have another 5 episodes to go, and then we take a little bit of a break. But then when we come back in January, the Saturday and Sunday shows will be pre-recorded, and they won't have as many technical mistakes, and they'll be a little more fast-paced. We're just going to put the guest in and kind of tighten up in that hour. Although here we are. This has been a fun hour. It really has. But you wonder,
a good format too, though, really.
Yeah, but you wonder, many of the guests, honestly, you think, oh, how are we going to fill 25, 30 minutes? And then after 30 minutes, you're thinking we should have had an hour.
It happens every day. It happens every day.
Stephanie Hirsch. Oh man, she comes on talking about Julia Child. Tremendous. But anyway, and they're all there. You can go on our website, bestacradio.com, the people that are watching now, and go back and look at all those great conversations. The conversations are broken down individually on a page called Conversations. So if you don't want to listen to the four of us, the gang, you can listen to Victor. I'll tell you what, Victor, Dottie, last name?
Unsay
The end of the conversation with Victor about, I can't say these names, neither me and BJ.
Can I? And I'm the announcer.
You can't do it either. The end of the conversation with Victor about being at sea, you have to watch it. I'm serious. It was so unbelievable how he just nailed it, what we do and why we do it. And Mark, last name, Donnie?
Barmenhoven.
Was just on. And
Arthur Nugan.
For a Dutchman, he is a riot. We had a great time with him too. So 4 kids. I didn't know he had 4 kids. Yeah.
Some of them too.
I told him, I thought, we're being away at sea so often. When the hell do you have time for 4 kids? Those are, I guess, they're shorter contracts than we thought. All right. Well, anyway, I'm in a talkative mood today without the Zambuca, but I can't wait to do some research because I think I'm a descendant of that guy from 230 BC, the guy that built the bridge.
I would absolutely bet on it. And it was evidently it was a successful war strategy. It's the Sambuca Bridge.
That's what I'm looking for. Before we go, one more pitch. Hang with me. I'm sorry. We are going to celebrate New Year's Eve. We're having the best, the really big broadcast New Year's Eve celebration. It's live on New Year's Eve from 8 to 10. This one's not free, but it's going to be a heck of a show. We're bringing him out of retirement. Southwest Florida's favorite radio personality, BJ Odom. We'll have a dance party, and then Dottie will host the show, and I will perform live. John Ferrantino will perform live, and our friend Paul Edison, a great English impressionist singer, Sinatra, Tom Jones, Tony Bennett, and Neil Diamond, all live, not recorded, and it's going to be from 8 to 10 on.
Just be like being on the ship.
Yeah,
exactly.
Well,
although I don't have to blow up one balloon.
Oh, I know. Oh, gosh.
Oh, yes, you do.
Oh, yes, you do. You have to have balloons. New Year's Eve.
I just thought of that. I turned one of our rooms into a green screen room. I know Sandy has a green screen now and Dave has one, but this is a whole room. And that's where I and Paul would perform.
You can find virtual balloons.
No. John has a green screen room in his home because he actually teaches seance performing. He does a paranormal seance, among other things. He does virtual, so
theatrical.
Yeah,
paranormal seance.
Yeah, he can't talk to your dead great grandfather unless there's money involved. No way you figure it out.
So I do it while I drink a glass of water.
We're gonna do all that stuff, and tomorrow we'll have the regular Friday free for all. Everybody knows what that is. I want to thank Sandy Cares for pitching in at the last minute. And I want to thank Jennifer Faust. You look great and you sound great and you're always so full of enthusiasm, just like my wife. Have a great day, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow at 10 a.m.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you, Cindy. Thank you, Jennifer.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for including me. I felt so honored.
I love to Fareed and I love the mom.
Absolutely.
And thanks to BJ Odom, back with the big headphones. Can you hear me now, BJ? Can you hear me now?
I hear you now, and the time is 9 minutes after the hour. I forgot we're all over.
That's your lunchtime. We took it into your lunchtime. Have a great day, everybody. We'll see everybody tomorrow. That should be all.
See ya.